What is metaethical about Euthyphro's dilemma? In this video, we're going to quickly go over Euthyphro's dilemma, and then we're going to quickly go over what is metaethics. We're going to then apply metaethics to Euthyphro's dilemma. And in doing so, we're going to also learn a little bit about divine command theory and other normative theories, and we'll also learn about ethics more broadly. Let's get started with Euthyphro's dilemma. Euthyphro's dilemma is a situation in which somebody in Plato's text, the Euthyphro, has two options, both of which are bad. The options come about because Socrates is asking Euthyphro about the relationship between goodness and God. Which one causes which? Is an act good because God loves it? Or does God love an action because it is good? What comes first? The dilemma is because you have two options that are bad, assuming you believe in divine command theory. If you want to say the first part of the question is the truth, then morality is going to depend on God. And that's not going to be great because God's mood would then determine morality. For example, in the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, God tells Abraham to take his son and to sacrifice him, to kill him. And for those who believe in divine command theory, then whatever God says is good is good. Morality depends on God. If God said, never mind, don't kill your son, for example, here's a ram, kill him instead, then it would no longer be good to kill your son. But it was good because God said it was good, but now it's not good because God says it's not good. It's not ideal for morality to be arbitrary. On the other hand, you might say, responding to this question, Euthyphro's dilemma, that the second part of the question has the truth. That God loves something because it is good. That's not a good solution either, because then morality is independent of God. If it's not true that morality depends on God, if morality is independent of God, that means that goodness comes first, morality comes first, and then God loves it after. But again, that's problematic. That one's problematic because in divine command theory, there was nothing in the beginning but God, and God created everything from the air to science to morality. And if we said that morality is independent of God, then you're kind of saying that morality came before God. Summarized way too quickly, that is Euthyphro's dilemma, and it's a metaethical question. So let's move on to that. What is metaethics? Metaethics is one of three different ways that you can do ethics. Normative ethics is one way you could do ethics. Normative ethics are going to give you different norms or standards, rules, according to which you would discover what is right or wrong. For example, divine command theory is a normative theory in ethics. It is a normative ethical theory. Ontology is another normative ethical theory, and there are a lot, but the normative ethical part of ethics is when you're looking at the standards according to which some action could be deemed good or bad. Whereas applied ethics is when you take a theory and then you apply it to a situation, to an action, saying some action is morally permissible or is not morally permissible. That's what you're doing when you're doing applied ethics. And thirdly, in no particular order, there's also metaethics. And meta means going beyond something, not being limited by something. Metaethics is when you're asking a background question about ethics. For example, what makes something good? Where does morality come from? Those are two different ways to ask a very similar question. What is the source of morality? That's why Euthyphro's dilemma is a metaethical question. Euthyphro's dilemma is asking what makes some action good. Is it God causing it, or is it God learning it and then teaching it to us? Euthyphro's dilemma gives us two possible answers to the question about where morality comes from. On the other hand, we can take a different normative ethical theory, deontology, and get a metaethical answer from deontology. Immanuel Kant's deontology says that the rational will is the source of morality. So the metaethical question about the origins of morality is answered differently in different normative ethical theories. And divine command theory says that it's God, and that's what leads into the Euthyphro's dilemma, where we're asking a more specified question about the relationship between God and goodness or morality.